Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Elsie Burrows with the Travel and Tourism Research Association. TTRA unites the best and brightest in the travel and tourism industry, and we are happy you are with us today. I would like to remind you of the upcoming events on the TTRA calendar. The Asia Pacific Chapter Conference is taking place in Bangkok, Thailand, November 30th through December 3rd. We're gearing up for Marketing Outlook Forum, January 27th through 29th in Fort Worth, Texas. Registration is now open, so be sure to register now for early bird savings. Welcome to the TTRA Partner Webinar, Leveraging Mobile Location Data to Drive and Measure Hotel Occupancy and Revenue, with Mark Oliver, VP of Hospitality at Azira. Now, I'll hand it over to Mark.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining the webinar today. So, excuse me. We're going to go over a little bit about Azira and how people are using, there we go, using consumer behavior for the hospitality marketing. So, oops.
And really quickly, I will give the reminder that we are using the webinar platform. So if you have questions, please drop them in the Q&A and we will answer as many as we can at the end of the call. Thank you, Mark.
There you go. Thanks. I'll stop my, oh, wait a second here. Start video, there we go. So a little bit about Azira, who we are. This is the agenda that we're going to run through. So we're going to give you a little background. I'm going to give you a little background about Azira and how hotels are implementing mobile location data, as well as proving it out for you in an actual case study, okay? So a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in the hotel business. My father was actually president of Pebble Beach Company. So if you've ever been out to Pebble Beach, he's the one who started the Inn at Spanish Bay. That's literally his concept all the way to development. Then I ran corporate sales there, or helped run corporate sales there for 7 years. Got into the tech business through actually a client of mine. And then just recently was with a digital marketing agency called G-Commerce for 11 years, ran business development there and partnerships. And what I did there is literally took G-Commerce up into what we call the luxury hotel business, the luxury side of the hotel business, which I'll get into here. And then I was being head of partnerships. I ran into Azira and really did a deep dive into their insights, how they create audiences, how they act on it, and how they report on it. And it was just an eye-opener because for years, my hotel customers were asking me for the data that Azira holds, which I'll, again, walk you through here. So a little bit about Azira. Azira is a consumer behavior insights platform. We have insights for operations, which I'm going to show you. And then we take those insights, build audiences, and market to hoteliers or to consumers, which again, I'm going to walk you through here. So Azira itself, they are definitely one of the leaders in what I would call the DMO space, destination marketing organizations. That's what we call them in the hotel business, or as other people call them in the tourism business. But we work with over 500 destinations globally. We work with the agencies of those destinations, but sometimes we work direct. So Azira is definitely one of, if not the leader in the space, which is really great because from a hotelier standpoint, they can get some insights as well of what's going on there. So myself, I just joined Azira 6 months ago to launch the hospitality space. And in the 6 months, which is, excuse me, pretty good, is you'll see the agencies. These were actually all my competitors when I was at G-Commerce. G-Commerce is actually a customer of ours. But we've partnered with all these agencies, and I could add a few more as of this week onto here. And this is just a snapshot of some of the hotels that we've launched with. The great thing is we're already working with 6 Forbes 5-star properties, but we're also working with some of the brands And then we're also working with actually an RV resort in Missouri, which I'll get into a little story about that. So we take it from the top all the way down to the bottom, which is just, it's really great. So what do we do? Like, how do we collect our data? So it all starts from the phone. Everyone has a mobile phone. I've got one right here. Everyone's got one right next to them. And on your phones, you have apps. And when you download an app, what it does is it asks you if they can follow you or follow while you're using it. So we have partnerships with a number of app providers. And so when you download an app and you allow to follow, we can follow you. So it's an opt-in, it's all consumer protected, and it's all trusted. So remember, working with countries around the world. So it's GDPR approved, CCPA, it's trusted, and that's the best thing is it's clean, it's first party data, it's opted in. Okay. So let's give you a little example. So hopefully this will work. There we go. So this is Honolulu right here. And all these little white dots right here, we're following these white dots. We follow about 1 billion people a day, and we're actually logging where they're going. Okay. And then what we do is we take that data here in a second. Oops, come on. It always gets, there we go. So we can take that data that we've just collected from all those little white dots, and we can put it into compartmentalize it into different geofences. So in this case, we put geofences around these different hotels. Hashed ID, these are phones. These phones walked into that geofence. Every phone has a zip code connected to it. So now we know city and state. And then what we do is we lay over Census Bureau data, household survey data bureau, and a whole bunch of other data. So we have a good, clean understanding of who this person is. We don't know their name, but we know who they are, where they live. Okay. We also know when they walked into the geofence, when they walked out. Very important for hotels because they want to know, is it weekend business, weekday business? We want to know how long they were in that geofence. Because if they were in there for 2 hours, then maybe that's someone who came in and was at one of the F&B outlets or the spa. So we want to put those people in a different bucket. Someone who's been there for 3 nights, 8 hours a day for 3 nights, they've stayed there. If someone's been there for 8 hours plus for the last 6 weeks, they're probably an employee. If we're going to do a campaign, we want to cleanse that. And I'll get into that a little bit more. So this is where we're kind of taking that data and we're bringing it in. So how does Azira work with hotels? And I'll get into the hotel world here in a second, third-party management companies, etc. So what we do is we collect that data, the insights, which I just showed you. Then we bring it over here, and then we, what I call cleanse. We take the data, the insights, and we cleanse that data. We want to go after, maybe we want to go after people that are making more than $250,000. Maybe you want to go after families, all kinds of different things, which I'll show you here too as well. But then what we can do, which is really cool, one of the big things why I came over here, is because we can build audiences based on consumer behavior. So if you want to go after the luxury market is flying private. So what you want to do is you want to get in front of FBOs, fixed-based operators. Those are where people who are flying private, they go through the FBOs. They don't go through the commercial terminal like me and you and most every other people. And I'll explain this to you. And then what we do is we push that audience out and we market to them. And we can do it through our DSP. And we can also push it out through a hotel's social media channels. And then we can report on it. And I'll explain all these different quadrants, as I call them. And I'll walk you through. This one's very important because we not only measure conversion when someone clicks on the ad, comes to the website and books, which is very rare because it's a prospecting ad. But we also have footfall attribution, which is new in the hotel business. And footfall attribution, I'll go through it. But in short, if an agency shows me an ad and I turn to my wife and she says, book, and I ask her to book a room and she books the room, no agency knows that, well, they know I saw the ad, but they don't know that I booked a room through my wife. We can do that and we get back to the property to show them that and the agency, which I'll go into here in a second. So a little bit about the ecosystem of the hotel business. This is a dummy down because I could put a whole bunch of different circles on here. But in short, you have individual properties. So right now I'm staying at the Joseph in Nashville. That's an individual property, okay? It's actually a soft brand of Marriott, but that's why I don't want to get into that. Then you have management companies. Management companies are brought in to manage a hotel. We have ownership groups. So an ownership group might be like the Lenox Hotel in Boston. It is owned by a family, run by that family. Then you have the big, what we call the brands, the Marriotts, the Hiltons, the Hyatts, the IHGs. Those are the big boys, as we like to call them. Then you have third-party reps like Preferred Hotels. There's all kinds of them, leading hotels. I could go on and on. These people are usually marketing the hotel to travel agents and to meeting planners. Then you have internal marketing. Internal marketing could be an internal marketing group within the hotel, or brands have internal marketing. External marketing could be like my old company, G-Commerce, could be like all those agencies that I showed you earlier. And again, this is just a snapshot. I could add so many more circles to this, but just want to kind of keep it clean. So it's a very convoluted industry. Then you get into the OTAs, or what we call the online travel agencies, the Expedias, Pricelines, Booking.com, and why it's important to bifurcate strategies to drive direct bookings, or what we call heads and beds in the business. So what most people don't understand is when you book through an OTA, the hotel is paying that OTA 10 to 20% of that room night. So as a hotelier, you want to have a direct booking, because if you put out an ad and it's per click, you're paying per click, and it's $1 per click, and they come and book, you're paying $1 versus, let's call it 10% on a $400 room. That's $40. So $1 versus a $40 versus $40, you want to definitely go direct. Okay. So let's understand guests with mobile location data, or what we like to call insights. This is the first quadrant that I showed you. So here you have hotel A versus hotel B. So I just put 2 geofences, and these are just examples. I should have prefaced that earlier. I'm just showing you examples of what we've done and what we can do. So in this case, I put a geofence around the Salamander Resort and the Nemacolin. Salamander is just outside of Washington, D.C. Nemacolin is in Western Pennsylvania. So now I can start understanding who is in this geofence, okay? And what I can do is I can start breaking down that audience. So let's say this audience right here is the audience that I pulled out of the Salamander. Well, now I can understand where their audience is coming from by state and by zip code. So now as a marketer, I now have a better understanding of not only my audience, but I also have a better understanding of my comp set audience, or in this case, Hotel B. So now I really start getting a better understanding of who's coming to my hotel, but also who's coming to my comp set. And then I can look at demographic information. So this is all new in the hotel business. I've had, when I was at G-Commerce, I had hotels asking me time and time again, Mark, do you know who's like coming into my hotel? Do you know who our audience is? And unfortunately, hotels only know who's staying there. And they know that through their PMS, property management system. but they only know the people that stayed there, and the PMSs out there don't get a lot of data. So with this, I can now start understanding, is this really, do these two hotels compete? I would tell you with this data, no, this is a reach of one hotel trying to go after another hotel's um, comp set. I can tell you that one of the hotels, the median home value is $250,000. You can probably tell by this one down here, the purple is over $500,000. So in this case, I'd be like, you know what? I don't think the hotel, let's call it Hotel B, is in your comp set. It's a reach. So if you want to go after that customer, that's a whole different marketing message you have to put in front of that individual. So that's building that audience, okay? Taking that insights and understanding the audiences. Then what we want to do is want to turn that data into audiences. This is where we start cleansing and we can start building out those audiences. So if we want to go after wealthy travelers, easily done. Think about putting geofences around people who are walking into a Tiffany store or a Gucci store, whatever kind of high-end luxury store. We can pull those audiences out and we can actually start looking at them. We can start looking at people who are going to museums, all these different areas, these custom audiences we can start creating. We can also look at sample audiences, so using location data. So in this case, we're just looking at, hey, let's start looking at people in Southern California. Let's go put a geofence around the John Wayne Airport and see who's flying in and out of John Wayne. FBO. So this, again, we're going after that luxury audience, all these different things. So anything you can think about, we can do. So for instance, that RV resort that I mentioned earlier, we pulled the data from that property and its 5 competitors. And what we found is that over 90% of the people come from Missouri. So we went, wait a second, let's put geofences around the top 3 RV centers in Missouri, pulled that data, cleansed it, started marketing to those different audiences, and the click-through rate and the booking rate through the RV centers was astronomical. I mean, it was off the charts. And what we've come to find out in talking to someone, I'm not an RV person, talking to someone that's an RV person, they said, oh yeah, if I find out about a new RV resort, I'm going to go check it out. I was like, news to me. So that's the kind of stuff that we are here at Azira building out, which for me being a marketer from, working at a digital marketing agency, it's like, this is like great stuff. And you can go through all these different, sample audiences, you name it, we can build it. Okay. Then, like I said, what we can do is we can cleanse, I like to call it cleanse the data and really start honing in on who you want to go after or put that your marketing message in front of. Okay. And here's some snapshots of our platform that allows us to go after these audiences. Okay. And really start building out those audiences. And this is what agencies love because now we can really hone in on those audiences. And I'll kind of go through those snapshots. You can see here profiling demographics. So this is all the information that we have. This is just a snapshot of the information. There's other screens that we can work with. The other really cool thing is now we can start looking at audience extensions. So extensions, you have household extensions. We know that my phone is next to my wife's phone. We know that social extensions that say I might go play golf every Saturday with 11, guys. We know that. The other thing too that we can do is build out lookalike extensions. So these are not lookalike extensions based on Meta, like Facebook and Instagram. You could do the same thing there within their audience. This is building out lookalike extensions within our audience that we've created. So again, it's a very customized audience, and then we're building out from there. Okay. So we've got the insights, we've built the audiences, we've cleansed them. Now we're going to turn those audiences into action. So Azira has its own homegrown DSP This is where we push that data or those campaigns out. And you can see right here, we have all the different platforms that are available. We can use CTV, video, desktop, social, mobile display. Most hotels are in the desktop, social media, and mobile display. I know the DMOs, a lot of them are using CTV, and they use video, but the hoteliers are right now staying right in these areas. But again, we can run everything through here. And here's some examples of rich media that we've created for our customers. And again, the agencies love this because they usually create the creative and they just send it to us. So I'm just going to go through some different examples right there. So now we've created that, seen that insights, we've created the audiences, we've marketed them. Now we got to report on it. Okay. So in the hotel world, we like return on ad spend or ROAS, or there's all kinds of, but ROAS is what hoteliers really like to see. They're not big into CTRs, impressions, anything like that for some reason. They like them, but return on ad spend is definitely what they're looking at. So when I came on board, we created that. I'll walk you through it. But we also have foot traffic, which is footfall attribution, which is something new to the hotel business, which again, agencies are loving, and I'll show you why. So you've got foot traffic versus conversion attribution. So again, foot traffic is like the example I just said earlier. I get an ad from an agency. I turn to my wife, Sarah, let's go book that room at the Joseph. The agency knows I saw the ad, but they have no idea that I booked there. That's foot traffic or footfall attribution. If I saw the ad and I booked, then we have conversion. So we track both for the agencies, which they love. So let's get into kind of measuring and understanding footfall attribution. It's pretty simple. What we do is we send out a pixel that the agency, or in the case of that RV resort, that was a management company, Kylie at Island Hospitality, took the pixel, put it on the website, and we're good to go. So we can put the foot traffic on the footfall attribution pixel. We can put that on the website, and we can put that on the media. That's very important because on the media side, if you're working with a branded hotel, typically those brands don't allow an agency to put any media on the website or in the booking engine. Okay, that's a booking engine is when you go to a website, you click on the book now, you move into a booking engine. They don't allow that, which is fine. The great thing is we can still track it. This is where agencies love foot traffic attribution or footfall attribution. So how it works. So a pixel is placed on the website or on the media, like I just said. The pixel registers the IP address, and then that IP to device bridging happens. So let's keep this in layman's terms because I don't want to get all techie on you. So again, let me go back to the example that I just said. The Joseph sends Mark an ad right here. I see it on my desktop and I turn to my wife, Sarah, and I go, Sarah, let's go to the Joseph. And she goes, yeah, you're right. We got to book it for that wedding, which actually I'm here in Nashville for a wedding. She books the room. The Joseph has no idea that I booked a room. But since we bridge to the phone, as soon as I walk into the geofence around the Joseph, bing, light goes off. And now we understand that Mark saw the ad and he walked into the geofence, okay? Which is very important because now we're giving the hotel and the agency a better understanding of who saw the ad and who came into the hotel. So again, attribution, you're served an ad, we collect that device ID, and then we measure that. So with foot traffic attribution, and I'm going to show you an example here. It's just what we call the ROAS method. I don't need to get into this. I just wanted to show it to you, but I'm actually going to show it to you how we present to hotels. On the conversion side, Again, we have a pixel. I'm not going to get techie on you here, but literally we give it to the agency. The agency knows exactly where to put it. They place it on there. This is for those people that, for instance, getting back to that example, Joseph sends me an ad, I click on the ad, and I make a booking. So that's a direct booking. Same footfall is a direct booking as well, but this is a direct booking. So I'm capturing that information. Again, here's the conversion pixel attribution. With the conversion pixel, it's a lot easier because we are capturing a lot of different information, and we know exactly what the return on ad spend is for that. Remember, with attribution, footfall attribution, we're taking some guesses, and I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Okay, then let's put it into action. Okay. So this is a real life example. So this is a luxury hotel in Chicago. So what we first did is when the hotel came to us via their agency, we started talking to them about what's the strategy here? What's the objective? What's the goal? What are you trying to do? And they told us, and we went, okay, so we're going to go after your top 8 competitors, but what are you going to offer them to make that switch to come from X hotel, hotel A, to your hotel? And that's where we work with them to say, okay, let's build out some creative. And again, these are just examples, but let's build out that creative that we're going to send to those people through what we call a display prospecting ad. And if you don't know much about digital marketing, there's 2 types of ads. Well, there's a couple type, but in the visual type, there is display prospecting and there's display retargeting. So when you display retargeting, that means that I came to the website, and I'm sure you've all seen this before. You go to any website, let's call it the Joseph. You come to the Joseph website, you leave without booking, and then all of a sudden there's that Joseph, the Joseph Hotel ad on, I don't know, ESPN, or, there's so many different websites out there. That's called retargeting. With prospecting, think of prospecting as cold calling or phishing. What you're doing is you're putting your brand in front of someone that might not know anything about your property. So as in the old days with cold calling, you make 100 phone calls, you get 10 leads, and hopefully you get 1 sell. That's how it works. But what you're doing is you're taking that hotel, in this case, the Joseph, let's say, and putting it top of mind into someone. And then hopefully they will see that. So it's that upper sales funnel. Okay. So first, build the audience. So you can see right here, I just put geofences around Pendry, Chicago, and the Virgin in Chicago. I could put geofences around the Wit over here, Citizen M, any of these, and pull those audiences out. Okay, and I'm just giving you examples here. Then what we do is we want to build that audience. So 1, we pull the audience out. In this case, we pulled out their comp set right here, and then we start breaking it down. We want to start looking at all these different things. What we found from looking at the data from the eight competitors and this hotel is that a lot of them were going to museums. And that happens through that insights tool that we have. Because what we can do is we can understand where people have been, where they're going 30 minutes before they walk into the geofence, 30 minutes after. So now we start understanding not only have they been to the geo within the comp set, but where have they gone? And what we found is a lot of them were going to museums. So we pulled the data out of museums, geofences around museums, pulled that data out. So this is where we really kind of start breaking down those audiences and really start understanding them. Then again, we take our demographics information and we just start cleansing those audiences to hone in on that specific individual that should be coming to Hotel A, but they're at Hotel B. It's no different from, instead of buying a Mercedes, you buy a BMW. Mercedes is trying to make you come over to buy a Mercedes. BMW is doing the same thing. It's going on all over the place. And this is again where we're kind of going through those audiences. Now, here's a conversion pixel. And again, these are just examples. We've changed the numbers quite a bit. But you can see here that, what we're doing is capturing the impressions, the clicks, the CTRs, and the conversions right here. So this is where we're capturing those direct bookings. And then we're calculating on it. Now, this is just for October, but we do this for every month, and then we have a total because, again, hoteliers like return on ad spend. How much did I spend and how much did I bring in? Then footfall attribution. So this is where we're calculating footfall attribution. So in this case, just for the month of October, you had 5 people that were served the ad and walked into the geofence in October. And then you had 8 visits, so that's 8 nights. So what we do over here is we break that down for the hotels so they understand it. Now, return on ad spend, 1.85. If you are sending out display prospecting ads, just so you guys have a reference, if you have 0.05 to 0.1 return, that's fantastic. Remember, you're fishing. You're trying to bring someone in. So 1.85, 1.97, I can tell you that with the hotel that we're working with in Chicago, again, a luxury property, we ended up at 8 to 1. That's mind-boggling information. I mean, data. We ended up at 8 to 1 after 3 months. Their sister property that we were working with in New York ended up at 5 to 1, and they renewed with us right away and actually brought on a whole bunch of other hotels. So you can see with the audiences that we're creating, they are hyper targeted, which is what agencies really love. And of course, agencies and hotels love a great return on ad spend. And in the 6 months that I've been here, I don't think the lowest I've seen is a 3 to 1 return on ad spend, which again is the agencies are like, how do you do this? And again, I get back to it's because we're going after a hyper targeted audience that's based upon the agencies and the hoteliers' goals, their target market, everything. We bring that all in, and then we build those audiences from there. And of course, we're giving them insights into not only their customers, but also their comp sets customers, which they cannot get right now. And we're giving them insights about all of this, which agencies love. So in summary, it's real easy. We collect that data, that insights. We collect the data, we look at the insights, we build those audiences, we activate on those audiences, and then we report on those audiences through return on ad spend. And with that, we are done. There you go. So I guess now we're going to take some questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. That's a fantastic insight and so much great information. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A here. We'll take a few moments here just to see what questions come in, and then we will close out and give you a little bit of time back in your day. I don't have anything coming in yet, but I think Mark has here his contact information on the screen. He does. So you guys are always welcome to reach out to Azira or Mark at Azira.com. And you can also reach out to info@ttra.com if you have more questions about this recording or anything TTRA related. So TTRA members will receive free access to this recording in the coming days, and non-members will be able to purchase this recording for $30. Oh, I have one question that just came in, Mark. Do you work, do you work with tourism consultant companies?
Yes, we do. Yeah, actually, on the hotel side, I actually work with a number of consulting agencies. Dragonfly is comes top of mind, but yes, I know on the hospitality side, we definitely do that, and I definitely know on the tourism side, um, the team definitely works with consultancies as well. So the answer is yes on both sides of
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like reach out to Mark.
it. Yeah, be happy to answer any other questions that anyone else has. Feel free to reach out to me or the individual that just asked that question. Reach out and happy to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mark. It looks like that's all we've got for today. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you very soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Take care.